Hi, I'm Darren Root, CEO of RootWorks.
And I'm Stacy Kildall, owner and operator of Kildall Services, LLC.
And another episode of Talk in the Clouds.
Talking in the clouds.
So, one of the things that I think that businesses seem to be really challenged with is sort of business focus, if you will. Are you seeing that?
Yes, I am.
What do you experience?
I'm finding that they want to offer everything to everyone, and
It's tough.
they end up just sort of losing their way, and it backfires, and they have all these different, tentacles out there, and it just doesn't work. End up stretching themselves too thin.
Have you read the Steve Jobs book by Walter Isaacson? I
haven't yet.
It's a great read. Part of it is because, I certainly grew up during that era.
Mm-hmm.
That was sort of I graduated in '84 from Indiana University.
I was in fourth grade.
But that was about the time that, the Mac came out.
Right.
And I owned that very first Mac. It cost more than the car I had at the time.
Nice.
But what was interesting was, the stories, Jobs was let go and he went off and did his thing. And, the guy from Pepsi came in and was running the company. And, they were bleeding red ink.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the book, the idea was let's create more stuff. If we create more stuff, we can sell more stuff. And the more they created, the more money they lost.
Right.
So, Apple Talk, laser writers, you can go through the list, the Newton, just the list of all these.
Well, when you do that, you can't do all of that well. It's
essentially what Jobs said. He came back to Apple. Not only did he rebrand from Apple Computers to Apple,
mm-hmm.
The story goes that he interviewed all those product managers to figure out what in the heck was it that they did.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing he did is he narrowed it down into really 4 groups: consumer, pro, mobile, and something else.
Right.
And you ended up with the iMac, the MacBook Pro, the laptops,
right.
The whole iTunes thing, and,
mm-hmm.
and the iPad and the iPhone. So, and that was it. And they became really, really great at doing those things.
That's what I'm trying to teach to the people that we're doing for this. I call it the 120,000 City Roadshow. Jill Ward actually sent that out in an email. But it's a 100 City Roadshow where we're teaching QuickBooks Online, but we're not just teaching about QuickBooks Online. Or actually the morning session, we don't even touch product
Sure.
at all. What we do is I talk to them and I explain to them, first considerations, what do you guys already have, like some of the things that we've already talked about in some of our shows. What do you already have in place that you're using either personally or for your own practice that you can incorporate and bring your clients in? And then also we work on narrowing the focus. One of the last things in our little worksheet that we do as a group is I have them think about what their perfect client is.
Yeah.
Like what the demographics of that client. Is it a startup? And these are generally accounting professionals that we're talking to, but it really applies to any industry, any type of business. What type of client do you want? And then, what is it that you do personally or professionally that you are passionate about when I'm talking to the accountants? So for me, I like to walk into a small business, usually less than 20, 25 employees.
Yeah.
They're entering stuff in 5 different places. Data is not, it's scattered everywhere. This person is doing this person is doing that. They don't know what this person is doing. And I love being able to come in. It's my business passion and say, look, we're going to put you on QuickBooks Online. And we're going to take Method CRM, and now you have a customer management tool, and you have inventory, and you're managing your inventory with Excel. So now we're going to take SOS inventory, and we're going to pull that in, and pulling all of these pieces, and literally just watching their sigh of relief.
This is Kildall Service Rescue, like bar rescue, right?
Yes, and going in there and fixing that, and that's my QuickBooks Online is it's my jam. It's my gig. I have, over the last 10 years, that I've been doing this, narrowing my focus to really focus
what you're great at.
On QuickBooks Online and the integrated apps that work with it. And
Sure.
that's what we're trying to explain to them is if you can narrow your focus you will expand your business. And what I tell them
So
is,
the more narrow that you've gotten your focus, look at what's happening to you.
and I have narrowed it in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
I've gone remote, and in the last 4 years, I have an average of between 23 and 20%, 27% gross rev year over year. I've literally doubled my gross revenue for Kildall Services
Yeah.
between 2008 and 2012, 4 years, by narrowing that focus.
So in Jim Collins' best-selling book, Good to Great, a number of years ago, there was this study that they did of, I think it was the Fortune 200 companies, but inside the book is this concept called the hedgehog concept. And Jim Collins talks about there's really three intersecting circles, and this is what these what they were looking at is what took a good company from being a good company to a great company. And it was this hedgehog concept was one of the key things, and it was three things inside the concept, which was what are you deeply passionate about, what can you be the best in the world at, or at least the best in your community at.
And my goal is to be Supreme Global Empress.
Of course it is.
I know.
And then what best drives your economic engine? And it's where those three things, and then having the relentless discipline to say no to the things that don't meet those. That's the key, is what he said. What I do in a lot of my conferences is we sort of teach similar things, and we call it defining. We have this mantra: define, communicate, and deliver. It's our three tenets in Root Works, but define is the key part. It's having this vision of what you really want to be. And so how do you create that vision? Part of it is defining what it is that you do. But the exercise I take people through is I say, okay, let's make a list of everything that you do today.
Right.
So we get this list, and then I ask them to sort of go back to that list and say, okay, of the things you do, what are the things that you think you have core competence? Not just you, but your business.
Right.
So if you have 10 people and different people have different core competencies, what do you have good core competencies at? And that list usually whittles down.
Right.
And then I sort of get to the point, the same question you're asking, okay, based on the list that you have core competencies of, if somebody calls and they're a potential new client, who is it you want to be on the other end of that phone?
Who's your dream client?
What industry are you in, and what services do they want, right? And those are the clients, and they could be 10 different types of people that you want on the other end of that line.
Right.
Let's figure out who they are, and then let's take that list of things, and let's figure out, in the most ideal world, how would we deliver those? Okay, so yeah, it's great to have. In my case, it might be a medical group that wants full service bookkeeping, tax, payroll, everything, right? So what is the most ideal way for me to deliver that service to them in the cloud?
And the other thing too, and I love that, and the other part of the puzzle is, how do you connect with them too? You know, that's the other thing that you have to, I'm sure that you probably do, and that we're doing on the roadshow, is teaching them, okay, now how do you deliver it, but also before you can deliver it, how are you going to connect with them? And
When you say connect, what do you mean?
like find those customers or find those clients.
Maybe social media.
Possibly. There's all sorts
Maybe
of different
direct
ways.
marketing to the kind of client you want.
Possibly. You could join the Chamber of Commerce and do a lunch and learn. Or you can, you know what I tell them? What I tell the people on the roadshow is, figure out exactly what you want, email your customer list, your client list right now, and say, look, I'm looking for 4 new clients that are this, and define that.
Once you narrow the universe to the people you're interested in, all of a sudden it becomes manageable.
Exactly.
And you get the people that you market to.
I love it. Peace out.